Good afternoon, and what is a cool, bright, and sunny day. It is Thursday, the 14th of November, and I'm in the reading up with a nice hot cup of tea. And what I've got here is a book that is actually too big to unbox. This is the Centennial Celebration Tarzan, the Stories, the Movies, the Art, the Burroughs Signature Edition, with an introduction by Ron Ely. Actually, the late Ron Ely passed away just a few weeks ago. As I look at this, that wasn't really my reason for picking this up. I actually picked it up sort of like in a sale, but I was interested because I was got vaguely interested in pulp stories and especially Tarzan. I've not really read very much. Really, it's more I'm familiar with some of the films and the television series. Um, so, the Centennial Celebration, celebrating a century of Lord Greystoke. This lavishly illustrated collection of every element of Burroughs' extraordinary Tarzan legacy, from his early writings to the latest stage musical, is a visual treasure trove of classic comic strips, book illustrations, cover art, movie stills, and much more. This edition is limited to 1,000 copies, signed by John Burroughs. I didn't know it was actually signed, but wow. So, a really nice slipcase edition. So, I'm going to slide that off. And I have to say, that's nice and sturdy. And here's the book itself. Celebrating a century of Lord Greystoke. Okay, essentially, detailed commentary is illustrated with some of the most evocative and beautiful artwork, illustrations, photographs, many rarely seen in print before. Includes daily and Sunday strips from comic greats as Hogarth, Foster, and Manning. Extraordinary book covers, interiors from Frazetta, St. John, and Crancourt. Awesome comics from Dale Goldkey, DC, Marvel, and Dark Horse, and classic stills from Hollywood movies. Features on Jane, Korak, Tantor, and Cheetah, plus many friends and foes. This is an amazing collection of things, Ape Man, and a vital addition to any Tarzan lover's library. So it's going to be difficult to kind of go through because it's a large book. But yes, as you can see, it is signed there. So bear with me because I'm literally having to manipulate this book and shift it around a bit. And there's the contents page. And here we have the forward by Ron Ely, actually written in 2012. There he is with Cheetah, shot from the television series made in the late 60s, and which I remember really from the 70s, from it being shown on British television on a Saturday morning. And every kid knew Tarzan's Call from Ron Ely's version of it. So we've got author note, and here we get sort of like a basically biography of Edgar Rice Burroughs, whose work I more know from the Barsoom stories of John Carter. So we get into the early writings, including uh, Princess of Mars, and then the pulps that he wrote. Uh, and then essentially we have already in 1912 significant events from the year that Tarzan the Apes, birth of Tarzan the Apes, and John Carter. So yeah, written in not both 1912, and here we begin to really explore Tarzan of the Apes. And we've got some fantastic classic um, cover from these are um, trying to think Gold Key. So they would have been from the 60s. And then we have a exploration of Tarzan's origins. Some of the shots from the various movies. Another artwork. And look at the beasts of Tarzan. Some of the things he was facing, you know, at, and this is obviously one of the title of one of the stories. And you've got notes on here, real life feral children. I'll move on to Tarzan and the Jaws of Opar. And just some fantastic artwork. And I think that's one of the things to really enjoy about this book is the quality of the artwork, seeing it presented here, seeing some of the, just the covers of the comics strips, the comics as well. I mean, if you can track these down. You can certainly track down the newspaper strips because they're collected. And again, because essentially they're alongside the things like the Buck Rogers collected strips, Flash Gordon, that sort of thing. And in each case, so you've got a breakdown of the book. So Jungle Tales of Tarzan. Here we go. Basic breakdown of the book there. So really, this is as much a guide to the books as the character. Oh, we've got a very animated Tarzan there with a very then modern weapon. And again, essentially looking at the various pieces of artwork associated with that story, the comic book covers. Got an essay on Jane, as promised. And even fights dinosaurs. It's a very weird version of the Triceratops. And a discussion of dinosaurs in Africa. So it's going through book by book, character by character. And of course, it gets a little bit odder in places. So you have Tarzan and the Ant-Man. Sorry, veering obviously into the ever more fantastic. Discussion of Tarzan the polyglot, the fact that he speaks all of these languages. So he is incredibly clever, even though he lives his life, say for example, as a savage. Please don't make me okay, that's the character. That's not or and even there's a kind of crossover into medievalism here. And then discussion of Cheetah. And here we go back to the past with Tarzan and the Lost Empire. And even into the Earth's core, you know, diving back into sort of like, you know, something that a story that Burroughs already done, you know, at the Earth's core, um, aping, as it were, Jules Verne's earlier Journey to the Center of the Earth, and even to the fantastic land of Pellucidar. We've got a little map there. This is about the city of Opar. And a discussion of lost race tales, and that sort of thing. You can go back to something that's like H. Rider Haggard's She, with its tale of a lost Roman city, and you know, and then of course, famously, El Dorado, or Percy Harrison Fawcett's Lost City of uh, um, Zed, and then another signature figure from the pulps, Femme Fatales. A discussion of how, you know, he has changed over the years. And even he gets in very modern. You know, this is really sort of like, with a depiction like that, Tarzan coming to Earth in via a parachute. So in some ways, sort of Tarzan is sort of like, you know, very mutable character. You know, he's a savage warrior, an eco warrior, but he can be mapped onto different ages and eras. And again, we have that whole thing of the lost city, the forbidden city. And then we're discussing really of how Tarzan reached the masses. So you have the paperback revolution, you know, and sort of like the pulps, and that would have brought it out even more. And crossovers, I suppose, with we've got the pulp westerns, clearly Burroughs wrote as well, and Encounters at the French Foreign Legion. Discussion of the foes of Tarzan. Doppelgangers of Tarzan. Tarzan the Aphasic, discussing amnesia, and then Tarzan for Children. And sort of like some of the comic book adaptations, more artwork. Tarzan clubs, essentially fan clubs for the character. Yevnov Guide and How to Speak Ape. It's terrific. That's a lovely addition. You know, just and then a map of Tarzan's Africa. And art and maps from Burroughs' own notes. Tarzan and the Funny Pages. So basically, in the comic strips that appeared in the newspapers. So plenty of excerpts from those. And they're essentially discrete tales, single episodes. And then we actually do explore Tarzan in the comic books. Basically just showing off some of the cover artwork for those issues, but obviously without the lettering and so on, and all of the logos, that sort of stuff. And here we've got the more modern artwork. This is Dark Horse, I think. Yeah, and that's by Mark Schultz, an artist whom I really like. Best known as the creator of Xenozoic Tales. And his style is perfect for Tarzan. And basically, Xenozoic Tales is a pulp, post-apocalyptic setting. And then we move on to Tarzan on the radio. So other media. Then on film, first with the silence. And then into the Metro-Goldwyn era, the MGM era. This is a very heavy book to be manipulating like this. So yes, this is the classic Johnny Weissmuller era. Tarzan the films, the Burroughs Tarzan Enterprises essentially presumably set up to establish Tarzan across various media. The Soul Lesser era, this is one I don't know less about. So there's been more films than I kind of was aware of. And then we get sort of like more up to date with the contemporary films. So yeah, you've got Christopher Lambert, as in Greystoke, and then I've got more recent version. And of course, Walt Disney's version. And then of course we do Tarzan on television. And even Tarzan on stage. And then Tarzana, which is the town in California named after Tarzan. Getting to the end of the book, so it's getting a little bit heavy on one side. So Edgar Rice Burroughs incorporated him developing, commercializing his books, because of course you do book plates and doodads just Oh. And the collectibles you can get, probably not as much as say for other things, but I mean, you really have to sort of like search for them these days to an extent. It's not a, I would say, a particularly popular property, partly because of its age. Then we've got discussion of sequels, authorized sequels. And one of the authors here is, you've got a surprisingly number well-known authors, things like R.A. Salvatore, um, Joe R. Lansdale, and even Philip Jose Farmer, who makes absolute sense for him to write those, because it's sort of like, because he is an author of Newton, or Immortal Newton family novels, and then Tarzan abroad in other languages. Fans and fan publishing, nice that they get acknowledged here at the end. And discussing fan conventions. And then his presence on the internet. And his just general discussion of Edgar Rice Burroughs. Fantastic. Worlds. There's other stories as well as Tarzan ones. And then Burroughs' later years. Bring the book to a close. So this really is a fantastic volume if you are a Tarzan fan. Tidy up the book cover. It does end with, you've got a list of all the works of Edgar Rice Burroughs, and then a section on further reading. There we go. So yeah, that's an absolutely fantastic book if you're a Tarzan fan. If you want to get into Tarzan, want to find out more, probably a good place to start as well. Go and get the first novel, get this, you find yourself deep into one of the classic pulp action heroes of the early 20th century. So that is the Centennial celebration, Tarzan the stories, the movies, the art, which really fantastic to look at. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you did, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll typically see me out here with a box containing a book or game or role-playing game, or in this case, a celebration of a pulp character, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all, of course, accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching. I'll be back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.